Oh, I think we are recording. Hi, everyone. Very warm welcome. And I have an amazing guest today. I have Lindsay on again, Lindsay Randerson, who is holistic health architect. And she is fabulous and extraordinary. And I'm so excited to share her magic today. But we've come in today to also talk about Quantum Queens and the magic that has brought to you, Lindsay, and that journey that we've been on together. So, super warm welcome. I'm really so happy that you're here. So, I'd love you to just chat, first of all, about what you do, the magic that you bring into the world, and yeah, all what does it mean to be a health architect? Tell us all about it.
Oh, thanks, Tonya. I'm so happy to be here. It's lovely. So thank you for inviting me to come in and have a chat with you. So yeah, I'm Lindsay. I'm a holistic health architect, which is working with six, seven-figure business owners to put a health strategy in place to really build their business of their dreams, right? Like I'm just so fed up with this sort of generic health advice, the quick tips and the quick wins and the things that we're told to do. And what I've done over the years really now is put together much more of a strategy in place which allows us to really adapt and flex and be adaptable with the chaos that's going on around us. I mean, we're building businesses here. It's not always sort of easy, but we need to have this sort of a flexible approach. And I don't think that there's an awful lot of good, adaptable health advice, which
Yeah,
allows us to do both. So
yeah,
it's either you can have one, but you can't have the other, right? Like you can't have, you're building an amazing business, but at some point your health is going to suffer.
oh yeah,
Okay. And we're going to go to burnout and exhaustion and, it's going to be hard work and we have to give up things and, we have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and, like we're just doing more.
yes.
And that made me actually, that approach made me quite sick. And so it wasn't until I reeled that back that I sort of put into place much more of this sort of adaptable, flexible health strategy. So that's what I do.
Yeah, and amazing. And also, you're such an expert. And I think this is why I'm going to be working with you next year, is because you are the expert. Like you have so much experience, so much knowledge. You've worked with so many different types of people. Like you haven't just kind of landed in this on a whim. It's been your life's work, hasn't it?
Yeah, since I was 16.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I've ever known anything else. Like that's, I went straight from boarding school straight into college, which was anatomy and physiology, biology, sports injuries, holistic health. When I was 16, like until I was 18, 19, and then I jumped into five-star hotels. At 19, I came to London, was in therapy, and then really have gone through working with corporates, five-star hotel resorts, internationally, looking after seven or eight, nine hotel groups, running, designing, consulting, and really putting together almost, and that's why I call myself an architect, because it's designing from the inside out rather than looking at everything else. And I think we get very distracted with jumping to the next quick fix, quick win. And over a period of 25 years, I've I finally landed in a space where I don't have to do all that. And I'm really excited for people to build sustainable businesses, but to really create a sustainable health system that supports it, right? Because if we don't have that bit, we're
Mm.
just on this sort of almost ever-ending cycle of, okay, I'm not doing enough, or I'm doing too much, or what do I need to put in or take out, and it's really bitty. It's really bitty, and the general health wellness advice out there, I find is quite toxic. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I love about you is that you create personalized plans. So it's not cookie cutter. It's not the thing that you see out there for everyone. And actually, what you see out there for everyone is so confusing because everything is like contradicting the other thing. So you really work with each individual personally and really, look at their age, look at where they're at, all of the components to that. And I think that is invaluable for somebody to have you in their corner to support their health, because if we're in good, vibrant, extraordinary health and well-being, like we can really run 6 and 7 figure businesses like so much more easily. Whereas if we don't have that in place and we don't have that support, that knowledge, yeah, we can easily be on our knees quite quickly, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also the energy taken, I think if we don't look after this bit, like,
Mm,
you are
yeah.
almost like you are your best asset, right? Like in our bit, you are your best asset. If you're a female founder building your business, you are your own asset, right? If we get that bit right, you have energetic resources to
Mm,
then focus in on forward thinking. Okay,
yes.
the big creative, inspirational drive forward. But when we're not thinking like that, we're internalizing something that's quite negative, and we're worrying and stressing about the sort of small stuff that we're doing or not doing, or eating or not eating, or should be doing, or and that is taking away from really valued resources forward. And so we get into this little bit of a rub. There's friction in the middle, and we can take 10 steps forward in our business, but then at some point we've got to take 3 steps back because we're constantly on this rubbing edge. And I
Yeah.
call it the gap. It's
Mm,
and I flex over and I bridge the gap. And so we don't have that falling off a roller coaster of, yay, I'm having an amazing week. And now I've got 3 days where I'm just feeling like a duvet day. Like I don't want to get out of bed. I'm feeling low energy. My body's exhausted. I've got a migraine. I don't want to eat well. I don't want to get up. I don't, your focus then is taken away from something that's incredible. And now we're almost playing catch up. And I
yeah.
see that a lot with the clients that I'm working with. It's like, yay, I'm full on 100%. And then it's like, oh God, I'm knackered. Like I
Mm,
need a week now to resource, And so there is an element of what I do is the bit in the middle. It's the crunchy bit in the middle where I'll put in framework that you can flex into and really create your own bespoke system for your own health, right? Because you know your health more than anybody, right? I'm just the person like an architect who will come in and look at that from a very different perspective.
yeah. And that's gold, I think, to have that and have somebody who's such an expert in your corner and be able to refer to you is really transformational, actually. Yeah, it's fantastic. I love the work that you do, and
Yeah, thank you. And I love the work that you do, Tonya. And I really enjoy being in Quantum Queens.
oh, amazing. Thank you, Lindsay. So those of you that haven't heard me talk about this yet, Quantum Queens is my 6 month program for spiritual entrepreneurs to grow their business with ease and softness, with expansion and trust. And I, like Lindsay, am really committed to growing a business that and helping my clients to grow a business that doesn't feel in struggle, doesn't feel like all the time that kind of pushing energy, because that does not make us feel good, and it doesn't create flow in our business, doesn't like attract clients. It's just quite a tight energy. So actually we're quite similar in that we're all about the flow, we're all about the expansion, the ease, tuning into what's really good for you and making it work. um, so the 6 months of Quantum Queens is very much about yeah, bringing in everything that you need. So there's hot seat coaching, there's also working with the subconscious mind and daily hypnosis. There's a myriad of different things that we do in there. So it's quite an unusual kind of package of offerings all in one space. But there's also sisterhood, of course. There's other women in there who are roughly at the same kind of point as you. So it's a space of real kind of growth, I think is the best kind of word I can bring, is like growth and thriving and moving collectively into a space of expansion and yeah, like alignment, I think. And when we're in alignment, we really kind of expand into next level income, next level clients, and all of those things, which I've very much witnessed with you, Lindsay. You've really gone from strength to strength to strength, and yeah, being really in that real growthful mode in business and in life, which has been really beautiful to witness.
Yeah, and I think for myself, Tonya, when I first came to you 6 months ago, you sort of can't recognize where you've been until you sort of look back.
Yeah,
And the difference from where I started and when, I reached out to you, was I couldn't sort of see the wood for the trees.
yeah,
I knew where I wanted. I knew where I was going. I knew what I was capable of, but there were blocks.
yeah,
And I've done a lot of work on energetic blocks, but I couldn't unblock my own blocks. And I really needed somebody to come in with a different perspective and to shift things quicker because I think this is again, I don't want to hang around and wait for, the quick tippy things. I want somebody to come in and look at this from a bigger perspective and say, okay, you've got the support around me now to shift into something that's feels really good. Um, and that's really been quite a quick journey for me. And also allowing things to go. That you've really highlighted to me things that actually aren't helpful to me anymore. Um, and I've had to let go of those pretty quickly as well to allow the space for me to move into this, right? So there's been a lot of I've, I mean, I don't mind sharing, but I was working with the NHS for 3 years, um, and in end of July, I really made a decision that I was going to finish, my work there. I'd worked with 275 patients over my 3 years, and on a one-to-one, I've really loved it. But I got to a level where I knew that for me to expand now, I needed to take a step of faith. And you really helped me step into that, where I was 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Like, what do I need to do to compromise here? And actually, the girls as well, all the beautiful queens in Quantum Queens were really pivotal in supporting your growth, and that's been a really that's been pivotal for me to be able to just let things go, which have come to the normal end, and
yes,
really just expand into something that's new. It's scary, it's change,
yeah,
but you've got this, and that's been a real catalyst. And I think we all need these, we need people in our lives to be real catalysts for us to change and move forward. And you've been incredible in doing that.
yeah. Thank you, Lindsay. I'm so happy to have been that person for you. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about that, I'm sort of tuning into all of the other quantum queens who so many have made really big
Mm.
life decisions, really big changes that have been in, things that have been in place for decades. They've moved them, they've shifted them, they've opened up to something completely different. And I think that's the aim, is to step out of the smallness and into like the big bold expansion that can feel scary. But I think if you're being held in that, it doesn't feel scary. It actually feels all very possible,
Mm.
very doable, very reachable. And that's, yeah, that's always been the kind of aim, is to, okay, come and lean into the trust of this, come and soften into knowing that you can do all of these big scary things, and that it's all available for us. Because I was exactly the same, and I wanted it, I knew it was available, but I had no idea like how to get myself into that space. So yeah. So what have been the things that you have really loved about Quantum Queens? Although I know you've already spoken a lot, but yeah.
The weekly for definite, that's been the weekly sort of check-ins and the safeness, I guess, to just be yourself. All right. So the safeness within the group to share, be vulnerable, and then allow that to be what it is and then to move forward. Because without that, Tonya, I think we can muck about a lot in the distraction bit. Okay,
Yes.
we can get sidelined and sidetracked. And I work much better in a space where I've got momentum.
Yes.
And Quanta Queens has really given me the
Yeah.
space to feel I've got momentum. The weekly check-ins, the meditations, the progression, the visualizations, the your energy, everybody's energy that's brought into that. There's been a real catalyst
Mm.
for moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where without that, I was literally like, oh, okay, I know this what I should be, right? I should be doing this, but I don't have any idea how to to make the change here, you know. And I think we can get a little bit of that stagnant feeling. It's
Yeah.
not going to happen. This
Mm.
isn't going to be my time. Oh, I've got a bit of a break next week. I'll do it then.
Mm.
And then we start self-talking and self-sabotaging ourselves into oh, I'm just going to stay the same. I'm just going to stay here because it's easy. But
Mm.
actually, Quantum Queens has been very different for me. This is about, okay, this is happening. Now we move. This
Yeah.
is happening. Now we shift.
Yeah.
This is happening. Now we go forward. And all those tiny little shifts and changes have actually created a huge momentum for me. Definitely.
And I think that's the word, and that energy is momentum. Because when you're in a group where everyone is moving their life, their business, their energy forwards, you can't help but kind of move along with it and make the changes necessary to like grow and thrive and blossom and bloom. And it is that momentum. It's almost sort of like catching, isn't it? We often will say in the group, wow, like, can you feel the momentum here? It's like suddenly everyone's gone up a gear, everyone's stepped into this new energy, doing bigger things, getting in more clients, getting in more flow, and also reaching that level of being able to hold more, having more capacity, which I think is the thing that we fear is, how can I stretch into this? How can I possibly manage more? But actually, we learn to grow our capacity. And I think that's something maybe that you don't hear that much about, but it's actually, when you're in it, it feels like a really big deal, doesn't it? Because it's like, I don't know if I can do all of these things and also have a private life, a personal life, and all these other things I'm juggling. How can I possibly stretch into that space of yeah, holding more? And
Yeah, and I guess that's a little bit where I come in as well, right? So that is if we're energetically resourced in terms of our own health, we are able to then supportively move into this space. So we've got the energies behind it, but
yeah,
we've also got an absolutely banging mitochondria function, which is also going, yay, I'm in great health here, you know, and I'm able to adapt to stress. I'm able to adapt to challenges. I'm able to change. And I think what I've really noticed in terms of my own energy is that this work that we've both been doing from my health and also from the energetics that you bring in has been like a magic fire. You know, it's been really
yeah, yeah,
key. It's just almost like the lock that's locked in and now it's turning. Okay, you know, and I think that's really been for me, the most magical, and it has been magical. It's fun as well, right? Like it shouldn't be hard work.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be all this sort of dredge and, gosh, this is just hard. It should be easier to adapt, easier to flex, easier to move, easier to, and it should be fun. And it has been. And I loved our day as well. When we got together, we all had a Quantum Queens day
Yeah.
retreat, which was lovely, Tonya, just to give everybody a hug as well. That was one of my highlights of the whole 6 months.
Yeah, fantastic. I love that. Yeah, and I agree. It's getting everything in balance so that we're all kind of like zinging and ready to fly and expand. And just going back to your point now, Lindsay, I think um like it's really good to get in support. And I think this is what we're talking about, really, isn't it? Is like, I know a lot about health, but I'm like still hiring Lindsay to help me look after my health even more because this is really important to me. And you can't hold all of the things all at once in all, especially for yourself. And I think getting support is the thing. Like maybe if you're a healer or if you're a coach and you think, oh, actually, I don't really need it, and but having somebody in your corner holding the space for you, like looking at it objectively and giving you a kind of outside view of actually you could be doing that, or why don't you just, it's invaluable in moving life and business forwards exponentially, isn't it? It's like amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I just I'm so grateful that I've been able to reach out and to come in to your space
Mm.
because without that, I definitely wouldn't be where I am now. You know, and I'm a really big advocate for women supporting women here. We do need support.
Yes.
We've evolved to have support around us. We're not evolved to do this on our own. And it's not a badge of honor either to have to take all of this on board when we do have some incredible expertise
Mm.
around us where this can happen much quicker. We get the right expertise in place and we can really then move into what we actually really desire and want, much quicker. Why wouldn't we? Like, why wouldn't we reach out and say to people, actually, this, I can't quite get the key in the lock here.
Yeah.
Can you help me open up this resource? Can you help me unlock this so I can
Yeah.
then move through this blocked door? Okay. And when somebody comes in who's just that right fit
Yeah.
is incredible. It's really magical. And I've just, I can't tell you how much it's meant to me personally and also for my business. I'm now doing the things that I really love in my work. I've got some big,
Yeah.
big creative thinking going on. I'm looking at, next branding and, stepping into a bigger space, which I'm loving. So it just feels like there's so much more potential for me. Six
Yes.
months ago, Tonya, forget it. I was in tears at one point. I was talking to you and I literally was, I can see it, but it's frustrating me because I can't access it. And I need to have somebody in my corner to access that. And you've definitely done that. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Thank you, Lindsay. And I think exactly what you said there. Quantum Queens is about the momentum, it's about getting the support, it's about enjoying it, having fun, making it light. And like you just grow and thrive and like gently letting go, gently expanding. It's gentle, fun. And yeah, you get where you need to go, but in a lighter, brighter kind of way, which um is a
Yeah,
joy.
you're like a lightning bolt. It's like a you've got this, right? Like, go for it. There's that momentum behind it. I've loved it. It's been incredible. Thank you, Tonya.
Thank you so much, Lindsay. Thank you for coming on and chatting about this. And yeah, it just makes me feel so happy that we connected and that this has been just such a joyful time together. of just complete, yeah, love and happiness and fun. Brilliant. So do let everyone know, Lindsay, about where they can find you, how they can contact you, all of the things.
Yeah, so gosh, well, I'm on LinkedIn. I'll drop some links down below as well. I'm on Instagram, and also have, if you want to come onto my sort of little community, I have a newsletter which I send out weekly. It's called Be More, Do Less. Um, so, and it is for female founders wanting to build these businesses, but really not in the space of having to compromise our health. So yeah, you can come and yeah, come into my little world as well. Yeah, I would love to have everybody.
Oh,
Amazing.
amazing. Thank you, Lindsay. And if you're watching this and you are curious about Quantum Queens, I'm going to drop the links for that as well below. And we start in January. It's a small, intimate group for 6 months of laughter, fun, growth, sharing, releasing, expanding, all of the things. It's quite amazing. So, yeah, get in touch with Lindsay or get in touch with me if you need more information about Quantum Queens. And yeah, I'm excited. So do let me know if you're curious. We can definitely have a chat. Okay, amazing. Thanks, Lindsay.
Oh, thank you so much, Tonya.
And thank you everyone for watching. Do drop either one of us any questions in the links below or contact us directly if you've got questions for Lindsay. Yeah, or me. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much. And I'm sending you all lots and lots of love. Thank you for
Big
being here.
hugs.